Hello everyone and welcome to Gran Turismo World Series Round 3. So this is Autopolis, 10 laps. This is qualifying, so we're just doing the out lap at the moment. This is my first Gran Turismo 7 video for the channel. I've been playing Gran Turismo for about a year and a half now. Very much enjoying it, but really quite bad, as you'll probably see. So this race is the bottom of driver rating B, but the top of safety rating S. So this is just after the physics update, so everybody's really getting used to the new physics. I'm finding it quite challenging, to say the least. So we're just doing the outlap now. I'm trying to keep a decent distance from the people in front, but also not have the person behind me catch up, so that I get a decent run when we actually start. Oh, and that guy just got helped off there. Thank you very much, Mr. Junker, or Ms. Junker. That helped me a lot because I was a bit worried about them fighting, so I'm now going to try not to catch up with this guy too much. One of the things that I've noticed is that in the Porsche, which is the car that I've chosen for this exhibition series, I find it really nice out of the corners, but I'm getting quite a lot of understeer if I try to push really hard. So I think the main lesson from the physics update is that you need to not push too hard. I have driven off this corner so many times just by trying to push, so I slowed down there just to give this guy a bit of a gap. I've kept an eye on the person behind me to make sure that they don't get too close so I don't interfere with that lap, and off we go. So this is my first flying lap. I've got a good gap to the person in front of me, hit my braking marker, in we go, and oh, that'll be the lap ruin then. Managed to save it, which I'm pretty pleased about, but now this means that you can see in the little mini map on the right hand side those two arrows. The red arrow is me, the blue arrow is the person chasing me. I don't want to ruin his lap, so I'm trying to make some space. So what I'm going to do, we've got a hairpin coming up, so I pull over to the left, let them through. He has a little rub on the way through just to say, yep, make sure you know that I'm there. And then what we're going to now do is try and create some space. Now this is where I have the problem, is if I hadn't screwed up that turn one, I'd be well away from this guy because I am quite a bit quicker than him. But unfortunately, now that I've let him through, I'm not quite sure what to do here, because I don't want to try and overtake him, because I have experienced this chap in a couple of races in the morning. He's quite aggressive. It doesn't like being overtaken. So what I don't want to do is screw up both of my qualifying laps. The first one is now gone. So I've decided now, as you can see, I'm going to back off a bit. Or try to, as he goes slowly around this corner. This is an afternoon session. I had a terrible time in the first morning sessions. I finished between 12th and 16th. I just could not stay on the track. I pretty much didn't get rammed, which is pretty good. I did it all by myself. I screwed up quite impressively. But now we've got the Alpha has started to catch up with us. I've made sure that the person in front of me has got a load of space. So this time I'm determined that I'm not going to screw it up. So hit my braking marker. Here we go. Actually get this one good. You have to be quite careful of the curbs now. Used to be able to ride the curbs pretty well. Now they're very slippy and really do a good job. Now this was a real surprise. I hit a purple sector. Purple means that you're the fastest. I'm not normally the fastest, I have to say. So that was a really good start. And now I've just got to not screw it up, and I'm going to get a decent place. So here we go. Keep going. The guy behind me is catching a little bit, I can see in my mirrors. Bear in mind that everything you see in the wing mirror is closer, and everything that you see in the little TV screen is further away. That does make it quite difficult to judge. Because I'm in VR, I don't get any of the gap timings. So I don't actually know how far these people are away from me, and I don't know whether they're moving away or getting closer. So that is a little bit annoying, much as I do love racing in VR. So actually got that corner, went really nicely. Again, break it down, keep on the curb here. The one thing that did fooled me a little bit is that when you first start racing with these physics, it feels like you can accelerate in a lower gear than you really can. So I was trying to exit a lot of these corners in second and going really hard. It doesn't work. Make sure you do the usual sort of Gran Turismo 7 and exit corners in a gear higher than you really need to be just to minimize that wheel spin. So we're finished, and here we are, and I come in second, which I was super pleased with. I hadn't qualified higher than 11th before, so we had O'Leary came in fastest, we had Blitz in second and Mikhail in third, and then I'm going to try and figure out who he is, Belorgio behind me. Now the three cars in front of me are on softs, I'm on mediums. Belorgio for some reason is on hards, which I thought was an interesting choice, and then the Alpha that was doing really well in qualifying behind me qualified in 6th, so that you can see them there. So we're just about to go underway. Now one thing that I find with this Porsche is that it's super fast off the line, so I thought I might have a chance to have a little look so we can watch. I stick to the left, I stick to the left, I stick to the left. Right, I'm going to go out and have a look, but because he's on softs, he finds the gap between me and Blitz, has a little rub on the way through and gets through to second. He's having a lovely time. What I did manage to do is, by doing that, I left the window open for the Ferrari behind me, and he's having a real good look. I brake to try and cut the space. He has a little nudge, makes some space, but now he realises he's not going to make that corner, so backs out. So well done on him. So we brake down again. We're back on the onboard so that we can have a look and we can see just how close he's starting to get. But we've also got people behind as well who are starting to stack up. Because I'm on mediums, the guy behind me is on hards, and I think everybody else is on softs. So they're going to be at least, or potentially at least this early into the race, is going to be maybe 1.5, 2 seconds quicker. So one thing that I've had a significant issue with on this corner is getting anywhere near that apex. So if someone can call me a cab, that's how far I am away. I could probably get an Uber and it's about a £10 journey. So break down. This one was one that I was finally starting to get right after about 6 races. And then these corners up here, I really struggled. They're almost close enough to be a complex and to sort of flow, but they don't quite flow for me. These ones, I really wanted to cut this corner quite a lot, but I learned in the morning that's a bad thing to do. So I accepted that the three in front of me were getting away. I'm not going to chase them. I am rather worried about the chap behind me. I didn't know he was really on hards at this point. I looked that up afterwards, so I was worried that he was going to be coming after me. But I did seem to make some headway here. And then if we look ahead, what can we see? Oh, there's the magic puff of dust. And there are 2 people in the sand trap. So good old Jailhouse Chris is going to make up 2 places. And we're going to have a look at what happens. So we can see here, there's a little bit of toing and froing. Does that count as 2 moves, 3 moves? And of course, they're both concentrating on each other. They forget to brake. And they're in the sand trap. And back we go. So we've got O'Leary, who is in first, is catching me pretty quickly. He's moving away from Belorgio. And this is where the mediums and the softs you can really start to see. Again, so far away from the apex, it's not even funny. I don't even manage to hit that apex, and it's the most gentle curve in the world. So break it down again. Oh no, the apex is just a dream at this point. But we keep going. We can see that he's starting to make some headway towards me. So down the hill we go. Brake just before the 50. Turn it in. And he's on a flyer. You can look at him go. So he's catching me up at an absolute rate of knots here. I'm trying not to live in my mirrors. I'm also a little bit worried because he's just got stuck in the sand by someone else going up the inside. What's he going to do to me when he catches? So I'm sort of trying to drive as best I can whilst also keeping an eye on my mirror so I can get out of his way. Now, he's catching up with me pretty well here. Actually, I do this complex pretty well. I get back on the power nice and early, but he's still pretty close. So if you look at the radar, I think the radar is going to be coming up in a moment. You'll be able to see that he's inside the second circle. but I'm sticking to the left-hand side so that if he does want to jump out, he can, but he doesn't. So he continues to follow me. You can see here just how close he is, just in that little glimpse. So he's inside that most inner circle, which means that he's very, very close, and that's the point at which they're pretty much going to have a go if they want to overtake you. So again, stick to my lines, not worry too much. I'm not going to give him this one like I did on the qualifying lap, because let's be right, we're racing now. So off we go, and I just get my head down and just hope against hope that he makes a mistake. But he's right in my mirrors now. That's very, very intimidating to see someone just that close. He has a little look down the inside there, but not quite. Now here I'm absolutely sure that he's going to make a dive. Though the Porsche is really good out of corners, and it could be really frustrating, I imagine, to watch me just sort of trundle away from him as he's caught up all the way through the corner, and then I just drive off. But again, I take this corner pretty well. We come down through here, but you can see now he's getting really close, and I'm looking at this and I'm pretty sure that he's going to get me at some point. I'm not going to fight this. I know that already that he's a couple of seconds quicker in qualifying. He's clearly on soft tyres, so he's even quicker now. Oh no! And the first place guy has obviously had an accident with himself, and I'm in the Gloria first place, however briefly it's going to be. So we take that corner nicely again. I pull straight over to the left to make it clear that I'm not about to start defending this. I look, you can see he's approaching really well, and I decide that I'm going to stay out here. I'm going to break it on down, and he's passed before I even have a chance to turn in, so don't worry about that. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to try and track him and just try and stay as close as I can for as long as I can. Second place is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. What you can see is, if you look on the map behind, just how quickly Blitz is catching up. So again, I've got my eye on him. I can see there's a good place for him to overtake. I'm not going to fight this one either, so I'm going to stick to the outside here, come off the power, let him go through, and I'll let these guys fight in front of me. There's no way that I was going to stop those two from coming through, and if I tried to hold off for 6 laps or 7 laps, as the case was, there was going to be an accident at some point, and that was just not going to work for any of us. So let those guys through, live to fight another day. Again, break down for the corner. Do I actually hit the apex here? Oh my god, I hit it. Yes. First time I've hit the apex. That's the 3rd lap. Well done me. And then we can watch these two. They're going to go and start fighting it out between them, and I'm just going to track behind them and pick up any opportunities that I can find. So again, we look at the glorious pink pig livery that I found. I love this one. I keep meaning to change it, but then I decide I don't want to because this is the best. So again, starting to get a little bit better with my apexes and my lines. Still not really pushing hard, just making sure that I stay ahead of everybody, and I don't let these guys out of my sight too much. But I don't worry, if they want to get away, they can get away. So along we go, we keep going here, and I do not quite my best lap. That was a slower lap because obviously I slowed down for that hairpin. Oh, and we can see there's a bump, and Blitz has put O'Leary into the dust again. So that's the 2nd time that lap, so as that race. So apologies to Mr. O'Leary for that happening. And we're in 2nd place. So at this point, I can't quite believe my good luck. But obviously, in order to have good luck, you've got to be there to take advantage of it. So again, we stick to our lines. We just concentrate. Now, Blitz has got a 3-second penalty. I tried to decide here whether I was going to push and try to overtake him. But given what I've seen him do to O'Leary, I'm kind of thinking that he might do the same to me. So I'm going to stick quite happily. I'm not going to push. I'm going to stick to my lines, and I'm just going to see what happens. So here, did I hit the apex? No, miles away on that apex. Though hopefully you can see how beautifully I took that exit curve. So again, I actually eased off here. You can't really hear it, but I did, just to make sure that I didn't get too near him. So again, catching up with him, but he's accelerating away with his soft tyres. and all I really need to do is just track him and make sure that no one else really catches up too much. So O'Leary is in third, but he is quite a way away. As you can see, he's not showing up on the cinematic camera, but we'll keep an eye out and see if he shows up. So we're coming up to the end of lap 5 here. Not to spoil anything too much, but nothing much else happens here. You can see actually O'Leary pit, so we're gonna fast forward through some of these laps. One thing you will notice, or I hope that you'll notice, is that my lines are definitely improving. I'm starting to take the curbs a little bit more. The curbs are pretty scary in this new physics update. They're definitely a lot more slippy. You can't really attack them in the same way that you could. So I generally just tried to stay off them completely. One of the things I was most happy with was, if you look at my lap times between lap 5 and lap 8, you'll see here that I'm pretty much doing 149.2s, 149.3s. I may not be fast, but if I could be consistent, that's what I'm really going for here. So keeping in second, and one thing we can see if we look, not sure whether he's going to start showing up, but Despero, I think he started in 11th or 9th and sort of gradually made his way through the crowd until lap 5, and then he's just been hunting me down ever since. We'll watch the final lap. So you can see here, there's Despero, there's Bellorgio just behind, and actually I was really pleased with this final lap. So again, looks like I'm just cruising. I am doing my best to do a balance between driving as quickly as I can and being safe. Still a little bit too scared to get on the curbs, but we'll see what happens. Here, one thing I did notice, that I did seem to be catching Blitz a little bit. I was watching some other YouTubers, mainly Digit and Tijni, and certainly people were saying on their streams that it seemed to be sort of lap 6, lap 7 was when the mediums started to become quicker than the softs. Bear that in mind, that Blitz was quite a bit quicker than me in qualifying, so I wasn't really expecting to catch him. But as you can see here, I'm starting to close the gap very, very slightly here. Annoyingly, because I race in VR, I can't actually see the gaps, and you can't see the gaps on the replays either, so I don't know whether I actually was catching him. I'm just going to say I was, because no one else is going to know any better. So here we are, coming up to the end here. Again, finally starting to get in the hang of this complex. It's still not going particularly well. I'm really struggling to string all those corners together. And here we are, coming up to the line. This is where I stacked it on a previous run, so I was really pleased to survive that corner. Here we go, through and across the line. That's the second place and 80 points. That's the most points I've got in Gran Turismo World Series in a really, really long time. And I was super pleased with that. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. This is the first time that I've done a Gran Turismo 7 video. I've never done a video where I've combined different shots before, so hopefully that looked pretty good. Any feedback, any comments you have would be very much appreciated. I'm planning to do a few more, ideally one a week from now on. So if you've got any suggestions, please make them, and feel free to give me a like and a follow. Thank you very much, and enjoy.